Mr. Daniels, and Mr. Richardson, are you both for the appellant?
Good morning, Mr. Connor. Good afternoon, Mr. Connor.
Afternoon.
From my standpoint, I acted for Ms. Infante, which is the second defendant, and
Okay,
therefore on the Crown's appeal, second respondent.
Okay.
Mr. Richardson obviously will speak for the first defendant. But as would have been seen, my intention is to seek to come off of the record as I'm not properly instructed for the purposes of the appeal. And on top of that, my client is out of the jurisdiction.
okay. I just wanted to call it
Certainly.
out for the record, but we are
Absolutely.
about to start now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can't hear you, my lady.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. O'Connor, you can read the heading.
Yes. Friday, the 15th of October, 2021, Commercial Court 2 via Zoom at 2:32 before the Honorable Justice Sabir Williams, Appellate Jurisdiction 2021, number 30, Marley, Watkins, and others versus Fiona Miller, the police sergeant. Mr. Richardson for the first appellant, Mr. Daniels for the second appellant, Mr. Richards for the respondent.
Good afternoon, my lady.
Yes, good afternoon. Sorry, I'm just making a note of these appearances.
I think it probably would assist your ladyship to understand that I do not in fact appear for the respondent. I appear for the appellant. I would have appeared for the cross respondent, but there isn't a cross respondent anymore because the cross appellate, Mr. Watkins, has abandoned his cross appeal.
I see. Okay, so we just have an appellant and two respondents.
Two respondents, only one of whom is actively participating because, and I don't know how much of this your ladyship is already familiar with, but
Very little. You'll have to
okay.
go through it.
So following the imposition of the sentences in the court below, the notice of appeal was filed by the appellant before your ladyship, the Crown. And unfortunately, the matter has not been listed before your ladyship in time to prevent the second respondent, Miss Infante, from having completed her sentence and been deported. So although I will say some things about her in the course of this appeal, and I do respectfully contend that the sentence that was imposed on her was manifestly inadequate, the practical reality is that even should your ladyship see fit to say that the Crown is right and that the sentence should have been longer or different in some other way, she is not going to serve any more time because she has already completed the time that the magistrate required her to serve and been deported. And there's no realistic prospect of her being returned to the jurisdiction to serve the balance of any sentence. Further, Mr. Daniels, as I think you mentioned a moment ago, who represented her in the court below, is not properly instructed to represent her on this appeal. So I don't anticipate that very much time is going to be devoted to the situation as it pertains to her because it's just of no practical moment any longer.
Right. Is this an appropriate point for Mr. Daniels to make his application to come off the record?
Yes, I'd be most grateful, my lady. In the circumstances, I agree with my learned friend for the Crown that while having acted in the court below, I am not properly instructed to defend the Crown's appeal or respond to the Crown's appeal at this time. And in the circumstances, my humble prayer to the court would be that I would be permitted to come off of the record. And so obviously you would also appreciate that with respect to filing, no submissions were filed on behalf of the second respondent to the Crown's appeal. And that was not out of any disrespect intended towards the court. The court may be aware that during the month of September, I was out of action for some time. And Moreover, just as a matter of completeness, for the benefit of the record, I actually only received sight of the appeal at a later stage. I don't think when the Crown actually filed it that it was ever served on me. So when I saw correspondence about the records, and that's why I didn't have any formal correspondence put before the court up until this point. But be that as it may, I don't want to take up more time from this afternoon that's been allotted for this hearing. My humble prayer is simply that if I may be permitted to come off of the record, then I shall do so.
Is there any reason why Mr. Daniels should not be removed from the record?
No, there's not, my lady.
All right, I grant the application. Thank you, Mr. Daniels.
Grateful, my lady. With that being said, if I may be excused from these proceedings,
Thank you.
thank you. Have a good day.
And to you.
Thank you.
So, my lady, I am grateful to the court for having accommodated this matter as expeditiously as it has, notwithstanding the fact that unfortunately it wasn't quite expeditiously enough in order to address the situation as regards Miss Infante, but there it is, these things happen. The schedule that your ladyship set for the exchange of submissions was not, I must confess, quite adhered to. I think I was a day late, and I think my learned friend similarly. But I hope that your ladyship does have the written submissions that we have both filed. Mine were supplied electronically on Tuesday, and then when I realized that unfortunately the shortage of administrative staff in the office at the moment had resulted in them not being filed in hard copy, I filed them myself earlier today in hard copy. Mr. Richardson filed his electronically yesterday. I don't know if there is a hard copy or not.
No, I don't have a hard copy. I haven't seen them. And if they were filed yesterday, I would think that they would have been forwarded on to me. Let me just check.
Definitely were.
Yes, Mr. Richardson's submissions. Can you'll bring me a hard copy?
I'm gonna see if Chris will have it.
Please. Thank you. Well, no, he's Mr. Richardson, you didn't file a hard copy, do you?
I didn't file a hard copy.
No, he just
I
filed it
filed it.
electronic. Yeah, he just filed it electronically. So I just need to, can someone forward me either well, I'd like to see the electronic copy, but if you can print it as well, that would be helpful. Thank you. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if this is the Crown's appeal, are you proposing to proceed, or is there another application on the table? I mean,
Oh, no, I'm ready to go when your ladyship's ready. Sorry, I just wasn't.
no, I have your
Wait.
submissions, and
Okay.
I would hope that by time Mr. Richardson addresses me, I would have his as well.
Yes, excellent.
All right.
So, my lady, the submissions obviously were prepared at a time when it wasn't quite certain what the status of Mr. Watkins' cross appeal was. The result is now that it has been abandoned. I haven't actually seen any formal paperwork to that effect, but Mr. Richardson was quite clear that that was his client's position in the course of his filing yesterday. It does actually occur to me that we don't have Mr. Watkins on this Zoom call. Is he not joining from the prison?
I assumed that he would be.
Well, I think that's an important observation. There would have had to have been a production order, I think, put in place for him to appear. And
I know they have a room at Westgate that they take them to for these purposes. I suppose someone's just not
I think
made.
that's still pursuant to a production order, though.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. And usually that's brought to the court's attention, and then that arrangement is made.
Okay.
To try and make a call, it may be possible to rectify it rapidly. There's somebody I can call that might be able to set it up within a
Could you
few
please?
minutes.
All right, so shall we just stand down for, what do you call in a few minutes? 10 minutes?
Well, if
15
you
minutes?
ladyship would just give me until 1:45 to see what I can achieve.
Okay,
And if
and then you can update me as to whether or not it's going to happen.
yes, exactly
All right.
so.
Okay,
Thank
so we'll come back in 5
Yeah.
minutes.
Shall I stay online? Can I stay online for that?
Yes, can I just ask, but you can stay online. I'm going to take my camera off and mute my audio and then
Okay.
come back up in 5 minutes, all right?
Fair enough. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
All right. What's the update?
The update, my lady, is that they are getting him in the room at the moment. So they estimate that within 10 minutes time, he should be in the meeting.
Okay, I'll come back at 3 o'clock.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You can let Mr. Richardson know if he has come out of earshot.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm here, my lady. I can hear
All
you.
right, that's fine. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
my lady.
All right, Mr. Richards, I was hoping that I would see some sign of the respondent.
Yes,
What's happening?
I'm afraid I don't know, my lady. I turned my camera back on because I was conscious that it was already past the time. that your
I was
ladyship-
conscious of that a good 8 minutes ago, but I thought that I might just keep an eye on the screen and see if
Yes,
I had some sign of him.
I'm sorry. I think I relayed. It was said to be about 10 minutes that would be needed at 1:45, and it's already been twice that now. So, I assume that they're working on it and that he will appear in due course. But I'm afraid I can't give your ladyship any more information as to when, and I don't want to trespass on the court's patience unduly. The urgency of this listing has somewhat reduced, obviously, as a result of Miss Infante's departure.
Mhm.
And Mr. Watkins' early release date, I think, is in very early December.
Right.
So there does exist the potential, I suppose, to hear this matter at another time.
Well,
if-
why don't we just try and identify a date, and then at least we've achieved some progress, although
Yeah.
not what was initially intended. Let me see.
Alan, how much time do you think we'll need?
Couple of hours?
You think so? 2 hours, yeah, about 2 hours, I think, at most.
I was looking for an afternoon session.
Yeah, I think
2 hours would
fine.
be enough, yes.
Okay. I have both of you for the Adam King trial on the week of the 22nd.
My lady wanted to take one of those afternoons and do it, so be it.
I was thinking after the trial. I don't want
Oh,
to,
right after the trial, that's
yeah,
fair.
because everything is so delicate now. I want to get through that trial as efficiently as possible without losing any members of the jury to COVID or anything like that.
Good luck.
That is getting a bit tight, though, respectfully, my lady, because I mean that trial's probably going to take us, I suppose, 3 or 4 days. And Mr. Watkins' release date, I think, is the 2nd or 3rd of December. So it
It is.
doesn't give your ladyship very much time to make a decision if we hear it at
You
the end
want
of
it
that
before
week.
the
Or start.
22nd of November?
I'm sorry, say that again, my lady.
So you're looking before that trial starts?
I think, respectfully, if it can be done, that would be better, because otherwise you're not going to have very much time to make your mind up before Mr. Watkins is in any event released.
Right. Well, next week is not. I guess I can do it Friday, the 29th of October, next week, not next week, but the week thereafter at 2:30 p.m.
I don't have anything that afternoon, my lady.
What do you say, Ms.? Or, one moment, let's see. No, the following week is already blocked.
Yeah, I can do the 29th in the afternoon, my lady. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I think that's the best and
Okay.
probably the only thing I can really offer. So Friday, 29th of October at 2:30 p.m. Production order
I was just about to say,
going to be made.
I should have known.
Thank you. And I think that's as far as we can go.
Yes. Thank you very much, my lady.
All right, have a good weekend to
Hey,
both of you.
you
Thank you for
too.
your efforts.
Thank you.